This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Thank you so much to EA for sending me an early access code to the new Sims 4 expansion pack, Lovestruck. This is a big week for The Sims 4. We just had a massive base game update come out yesterday, and there's a brand new expansion pack coming out tomorrow. And I feel like there's a lot of information that is being thrown at us this week, and it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. So I thought I would sit down and record a video where I basically give you the Cliff Notes version of here's everything coming with the new base game update and the new expansion pack to get you prepared for all of the new stuff that we're getting this week. I know there have already been a lot of videos that have come out that have basically been what I'm about to do, but instead of going into a deep dive of everything and explaining everything that came out, I'm basically going to give you like a Cliff Notes version where I'm going to run through everything, but instead of a video being really long, which I love, by the way, I love the deep dive videos, but I kind of also love just a very quick video that gives you all of the basic information, and then you're a lot more prepared going into the new expansion pack or game pack or whatever has come out in The Sims. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, starting off quick, let's go over a few things about the base game update. The base game update came out with a lot of new things. There were a lot of bug fixes as well as a lot of updates, major updates to The Sims about things that we've been asking for a really long time. And I think it's going to be really good that we go over this real quick just so everyone is prepared. I know the base game update's out and I know a lot of people already know what comes with it and they've already seen everything. But just in case you haven't or you need a quick refresher, here's everything that came with the base game update. So starting off strong, one of the biggest updates that came with this base game update is romantic boundaries. Now, romantic boundaries can be found in the identity panels. So right here with the three dots, if you click on that, this is where you usually find your gender, your sexual orientation, and also now your romantic boundaries. So there are 4 different romantic boundaries. You've got one that is more about non-physical jealousy. And what I mean by that is non-physical is more so flirting with Sims and complimenting their appearance. That is more so what this one means. The next one is physical romance. And this is more so involving your social interactions, involving your Sim that is physical. So kissing, holding hands, hugging, anything romantically involved to the physical touch is going to make your Sim jealous. The third one is jealousy involving woohoo. And this also does involve teens. So teens that can mess around, this includes them. They can also be jealous. And then of course, young adult to elder, this is also for them. And the last one is if your Sim's jealousy can change by talking to Sims. And this basically just means that if your partner has these set romantic boundaries and your Sim asks them if they are open to changing the romantic boundaries, they could say yes or no. Also to know, all answers are defaulted to yes in all of your previous games. So any games that you already have before the base game update, they're already set to yes. Another thing quick to note that you won't see in the cast version, but more in gameplay, is that you can now hide relationships in your relationship panel. So say you're friends with Mortimer Goth and you no longer want to see that relationship, you can now hide that relationship, which is really cool. And in order for that relationship to pop up again in your relationship panel, you would have to interact with that Sim again for it to come back. So another thing that came with this base game update is that the Sims team, when it comes to relationship and when it comes to the relationship status between 2 Sims, they did change the names of them to be more inclusive. Now, I have to say, I have noticed 2 different sides to this. When this was first announced in the live stream, from what I could see, most of the comments were really positive about this and people are really excited to have this change. And now that it's been a few days, I have seen the other side of this when it comes to comments in YouTube videos, on Twitter. Some people are not happy about this because even though the Sims team wanted this to be more inclusive, which I definitely think they're taking a step in the right direction, and I'm always open to the Sims adding new features to make the game more inclusive for all players, I do also understand the negative impact that this has had is that some people think that this doesn't make it as inclusive because now they think it's even less inclusive because now your Sims cannot have the relationship status of husband and husband or wife and wife if they wanted that. Instead, it got changed to spouse, engaged, and partner. I know the Sims team meant well, but I also see the point of view from other people and I can understand how maybe it's not exactly as inclusive as maybe they want it to be. Either way, I definitely think it'd be fun if maybe they added the old relationship status back, but they also just gave you a longer list to choose from. So that way, if people wanted to choose spouse or fiance or wanted to choose, you know, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they could. Then you could have everything. And that also gives players a choice to choose what status they wanted to give their Sims. I will note though, in the Lovestruck expansion pack, you are able to give your Sims a custom relationship. So if you wanted to go in and give them boyfriend boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, or even if you wanted to give them aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, you definitely could. This won't be a base game update though, but I did want to point out that that is an option if you do get the new AP. Okay, now let's get into the cast. So one of the new features that they added into The Sims was the ability to give your sim eyelashes. Now, I have to say, I've seen the eyelashes for myself now, and I understand what some of the other creators have meant. I do like the top eyelashes. So if we take off like the eyeliner, I do like the top lashes. I think they're really nice. And the ones on the bottom, these aren't actually that bad. I don't mind them too much, but if you get into the ones that came with Lovestruck, these are just a little bit, again, the top ones are really nice, and the bottom ones aren't that bad, but I do see how they could be like a little clunky. I understand. I definitely understand. But it is a step in the right direction, and this opens the door for The Sims to add more eyelashes in the future, and I think that's absolutely amazing. I am so excited to see what they do with this. And again, you gotta start from somewhere and you learn from what you've done if you need to improve it or if it's actually working well. And I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. Another quick thing to note, we did get 3 new hairstyles with this base game update. This is one of them. It's kind of like a short little hairdo and it's actually super cute. I like the length. I like the waves. I think this is really cute. I don't normally put my Sims with short hairstyle. I really do like more like medium and long length, but this is actually really cute and I love this one. The second hair that we got is like this short little ponytail and I actually really like this one. I think this will be really nice to use on Sims. And then the third and last new hair that we got is this one, and there's actually 2 different versions of this. And this one they worked on with Ebonics, which I think is so cool when the Sims team does work with other creators. So you've got a plain version like this, so you have like your very basic swatches, but then you also have one where the ends are dyed, which I think is really cool, and there's a ton of different versions to choose from. And then lastly, the 2 things that also came to the Sims 4 base game is curved pools, which I'm pretty sure is self-explanatory, and we've all seen the curved pools now, but curved pools also came to the base game, as well as neighborhood stories got a bit of a change. So the only 2 things that you're going to notice in neighborhood stories now is that friendships can change and so can romance. So I think that's going to be really cool to see what neighborhood stories does to my game to make it more drama oriented with allowing friendship change for my families that maybe I'm not playing with anymore. Like generation 2, I'm now focused on them, but their parents are still alive. So it'll be interesting to see how their friendship changes and how their romance changes. I think that's a really cool update that we got. Oh, one thing that I forgot to note that came with the base game update that I cannot believe I forgot about is that we got a ton of new nails. We got a ton of new nails for the base game. So before there was only like a select few, but now they've added a lot more. So there's like French tips that you can choose and they come in all different colors. And I think this is so fun. We've got a lot of neutrals as well. But I think the one that I'm most excited about is that we got new long nails. I think these are so cute. I love all the colors. They've also got like a lot of pride colors, which I think is really fun. So if you wanted to get like pride nails, your Sims can now have them. And they've got the glossy finish as well as the matte finish. But this one, I just love this so much because Spa Day had nails that were this length and I used to use them all the time, but now that base game has them, I can change them up for sure. So, and they've got a lot of new pastel colors, which is really fun. I should probably also mention that there is an apply all feature. So if your Sim is wearing this top and you wanted to apply this top to every outfit, you can now just click this, or you can specify exactly which outfits that you want to do. And this feature applies to accessories, makeup, hair, shoes, pants, tops, and full body. It applies to every single one. And like I said, you can choose which one you want to apply it to, or you can apply it to every single one. I cannot tell you how many times I have complained in the past because sometimes your game would give you makeup for every single category just on its own. So it's like the apply all feature was there, but not there at the same time. But now it's there, and it's probably, again, one of the biggest base game updates that we've gotten in a very long time. I also want to say that this feature does not remove anything from your outfits. It just adds to them or it replaces them depending on what you choose. So that's everything that we got with the base game update. And now let's dive into Lovestruck and talk about things to be prepared for when it comes to this brand new pack. So one of the first things to talk about when it comes to the new Lovestruck expansion pack is that there is a new attraction system. So it's similar to likes and dislikes, except this is more so about the turn on and turn off for your Sim, about what attracts them to another Sim. And we've got 6 categories. So there's hair color, outfit color, and fashion choice has been moved over here behavior as well as characteristics. So the new ones that we have is way of life and romance style. So ways of life is attraction to different skills and lifestyles. So your sim could really like sims who are academic or arts and crafts, but may not like sims who are broke, but might like sims who are career minded. And I think that's really cool that they added that. There are a ton of new ones that you can choose from. And the other new one that they have is romance styles. So romance style is how your sim will interact with another sim romantically. So is it by affection, flirting, gift giving, physical intimacy, woohoo? I think that's really cool that you can also choose how this works. So if your sim likes affection, you're probably going to want to give your sim a lot of affection. And if they like flirting, you're probably going to want to flirt a little bit more often. Say maybe they don't like gift giving, you're probably not want to give your sims gifts. The next one that we have up is romance dynamics. They're very similar to family dynamics. And so they're steamy, strained, unpredictable, and wholesome. And I'm really excited to see how this is going to work in the game because I love the family dynamics. I think they're so fun to see how your sims interact and to see what dynamics will pop up. The one that I mostly get is jokesters for family dynamics, and sometimes I get strict, so I'm really tempted to see what happens when I put my two sims out there romantically and see what kind of romantic dynamic they get. We also have a new romance skill in the game, which is really cool. So the more your sims interact romantically, the more their skill will go up. And it's actually pretty easy to get up the romance skill. And every time you increase the skill, you do get new romantic interactions, which I'm very happy with. If there's one thing to know about me, it's that this pack is everything to me because I have become a very big romance person in the past couple of years. I mean, this bookshelf that I definitely have pointed out before behind me is filled with nothing but romance novels, and I just have fallen in love with the idea of romance, even more so that I created a challenge called the Love Trope Legacy, where every generation is a different love trope. Opposites attract, or enemies to lovers, or friends to lovers. Like, I have just fallen in love with it. And I'm really excited about this pack. So having a romance skill and being able to have new interactions is so fun to me. There are also two new aspirations that come with this pack, which is Romantic Explorer, meaning that your sim wants to explore all that romance has to offer, as well as Paragon Partner. So this sim wants to have successful relationships with 2 or more sims. I love that they added more aspirations, and especially that they added more romance aspirations, because don't get me wrong, I love the ones that we had, but I feel like I use them so much that when I want to make my sim have a romantic aspiration, because again, romance has eaten me alive in the past couple years and I've just fallen in love with it. But I love that we have more options now, and it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of see what storylines and what drama I can come up with in The Sims. We also got 2 new traits in The Sims 4, which is Love Bug. Sims with this trait constantly are swept in the whirlwind of romance. They fall in love easily, often wearing their hearts on their sleeves. And then we also have Romantically Reserved. Romantically reserved Sims are often tread carefully in the realm of love, preferring to take their time and build solid emotional connections before jumping headfirst into a romance. And I think that's really fun that they added new traits as well, because I'm always open for new traits in The Sims to really characterize my Sims more to how I see fit and to make them, more realistic. So I'm really excited to play around with those as well. Now, with this new expansion pack, there's a lot of new cast items that have come, and I definitely haven't had time to really dive in and look at everything. I was playing a little bit with the pack last night just to get an idea of everything that's coming with this pack, and I do like the outfit that I gave my sim. The tank top and the pants and the shoes are all new, and I could sit here for a while and dive deep into that, but I'm actually going to be live over on Twitch maybe by the time this video goes up, but if not, I'll be live around 2 p.m. Central, and I will be going into a deep dive over everything with the community. So if you guys want to come in and see my thoughts and opinions and check on everything, I'll be doing that today. All right, now getting back into the new EP. This is the new world of Ciudad Enamorada, and it's so beautiful. I love what they've done with this world. It has 13 lots and 3 neighborhoods, and it's definitely one of the bigger worlds that we've gotten in a while, and I think this world is so pretty. So you've got 3 different neighborhoods, which is Vista Hermosa. We've also got Nuevo Corazon, which is more of like your city area, and we've also got Plaza Mariposa, and I think they're really cute. We've got a park, we've got a rental lot, we have a lounge, there's also a nightclub, we've got 2 new penthouse lots, and we've got a gym. So there's a lot that this world is giving, and I absolutely love it. They also worked with some amazing creators to help with some of the builds in this world, and I think that's absolutely amazing. And I just cannot wait to dive deeper into this world and explore more. All right, so diving in, I was playtesting with this last night, so I've played a little bit with the pack to kind of get an idea of a lot of things that are coming with this pack. One thing to know that there is a new career, which is the romance consultant, and I've been having my sim play it for a few days, and the promotional tasks are actually not that hard. My sim recently had to read a romance novel and also reach level 2 of the romance skill, so the career is actually not that hard when it comes to tasks, so far at least, and it's kind of fun. I also have to say that the outfit that she wears to go to work is actually not that bad. I actually think this outfit's really cute. So probably one of the biggest things that has come to this new EP is that there's now a dating app. So Cupid's Corner is the dating app. You can make a profile, you can go on a blind date, you can ask for Cupid's counseling, which means if your sim and their partner are not having a good relationship, they can go to counseling and they can get advice of what they need to do to hopefully repair their relationship. So opening up Cupid's Corner, let's talk really quick about what to expect. So with Cupid's Corner, this is your bio for your sim. So you can take the photo yourself. I will say sometimes it takes a while to get to the pose that you like, but for Violet, this is the one that I chose. It shows their pronoun. It shows a few traits that you want to describe your sim as. So generous, love bug. You can also change the traits if you want. So that way, if you wanted to show that your sim was evil, you could. But if you wanted to hide that trait about themselves, you could also do that. You can also say what you're looking for in a sim. So are you looking for a young adult, elder? It'll also show their sexual orientation. So who are they romantically attracted to? Who are they interested in woohoo with? And then these are where your matches are going to show up. Now I have played a little bit with the Cupid's Corner app with the brand new base game update, so I do kind of know how pulling the sims from the gallery works, and I have to say I love this feature. I will note though that it seems that they only pull one sim from the gallery per every like matches that you get, and you only get 7 matches, and then you have to refresh, and then once you do that it doesn't refresh for another 12 hours in sim time. So they do pull someone from the gallery for a sim. So this is Colin. I actually think this sim is really cute, so it'll show you the creator's name. So if you wanted to go check out more of their sims or see if they have any builds or follow them, you can. And then you can also report them if for some reason you need to report the sim. But I think that's really cool that they do that. Something else that I noticed is that this sim, I actually had before my game crash, I had my sim go on a date with this exact person. I set up a date and everything, and it put this sim in my library. So not like on your gallery, but just like saved in your library. So I also think that's kind of interesting. And I'm not really sure if everyone's gonna like that these sims just get put into their library. So that's something that I'm definitely gonna have to get used to, is that that's like a feature, which isn't bad, because I guess if there were some sims that you did like, it's nice to kind of have them, because if you wanted to play with them in the future, you definitely could. But it does pull from the gallery, but it only pulls one at a time, which I guess is a good thing, because then it doesn't overclutter the app, and then you don't have like all of these sims that came from there. But I think it's cool that it does work. And I've got a few other ones from the gallery as well as just random NPCs, and you can either add them to your contacts, so they'll be added to your relationship panels. So if you want to invite them to hang out, get to know them better, they'll be in your panel, or you can ask to create a date. And when you do that, so let's say I wanted to create a date with Colin, because I was already working on one, you can interact with 3 sims a day, save up to 15 total. And so if I wanted to create a date, the new create a date feature is really cool, and I think is something that's absolutely amazing. It's very similar to my wedding stories, where you're creating an event, and it's also just the event system in general, where you're creating an event. With this one, it's similar to my wedding stories, because you can also get to choose what you want to do on the date. So you have get to know your date, romantic date, and romantic repair date. Now, if your sims have a negative relationship, so like Bob and Eliza in the trailer, then they can go on a repair date to hopefully try and fix a relationship. I love that you can choose though a get to know date or a romantic date, because if you just wanted to have like a friends hang out kind of date, like just, get to know, hang out with friends, you could definitely do that. So I think I want to do a get to know date, because I definitely want to get to know my sim before I like fully go in for a romantic date, because what if my sims don't like them, So it'll be me as the host, my sim as the host, our date. You can also have guests come. So again, if you wanted to have your mom come on a date with you, you definitely could. And then you just choose the activity. So there's a ton that you can choose from. And the only other ones that they've added from other packs is animals, play in snow, and skate. So there isn't anything else that they've added. I own every single pack, and so there isn't anything else. But I think because it's a get to know date, maybe we might want to be romantic romantic, be friendly. Maybe we want to go out for drinks, and maybe we want to tell some jokes. You have to choose at least 3, but there is a lot of things that you could choose from. And maybe we also want to go stargazing. So once you do that, you can then choose where you want to have your date, and your date will start then and there. So for instance, I kind of think it'd be fun if my Sims went to the lounge and had like a very casual get to know date. So now that your Sims are on the date, you'll see everything that you need to do on said date. So you could small talk, drink something, be silly. All this comes from the choices that you chose. And when you click on the Sim, you now can have date actions. So you can end the date cheerfully, end the date abruptly, extend the date, change the venue, or you can also ask how the date's going. So usually once you get into the date, you do a few interactions and the bar starts filling up. This is usually when you want to ask some of these questions, because then you're going to know, oh, this Sim is not for me. I have to end the date abruptly. Or you can be like, oh, it's getting late. I'm just going to stop and end here for today. You can also change the venue, meaning that if you wanted to start at the lounge, but maybe finish back at your Sim's place, or maybe go to the park or something, you can, and it will change the venue then and there. Then you can also extend the date. So maybe your Sim is actually getting along with the Sim really well, and you decide that you want to take them back to your place and maybe finish the date there. And you know, maybe things happen. You could definitely extend the date and make it a little bit longer, you know? And I think that's a really cool feature because that's really realistic to, you know, real life. So I think that's really cool that they chose that. I also want to note that this is more of a base game feature, but I think this is also something to note about now because it affects relationships so much. So it's perfect for Lovestruck. There's a new relationship panel to choose from, and they've moved a few features over here. But what I really like is that you can ask about the romance style attraction, the physical attraction, personality. You can ask to learn more. And they moved over here where you can ask a Sim if they're single, their woohoo interests, romantic interests. You can also, once you get to know a Sim, ask if they want to be woohoo partners. This is also where you can ask if your Sim wants to move in with them. Like, they've moved things over, and I think that's really nice because the pie menu tends to get cluttered. So it's nice that they move some of the basic features of getting to know a relationship, as well as ask to be woohoo partners. And the only reason I'm mentioning this one in particular is because I've looked for this feature so many times and I haven't been able to find it. But the fact that it's now going to be in the relationship panel, it's going to be a lot easier to find, which is really, really nice. I think one of the other big things to note about this pack that's definitely going to be important to kind of point out is that there's a new costume trunk. So you can now have your Sims wear costume, and some of them are decently okay, meaning they're not as, you know, out there as some. So you could wear a playful costume, a flirty costume. You could also change the outfits of your Sim as well. So it's not just the costume trunk. You can also ask your date if they also would like to wear a couple's costume with you, which I think is really interesting and I think is so funny. So there is that as well. There's a lot of new interactions. Another feature is they basically added a rabbit hole of a motel. So you can either rent a room to sleep so your Sims just have a place to sleep, or you could rent a room to woohoo. And what I've noticed some people calling it is a woohoo motel. So there is that option. It's right across the street from the lounge. So say you started your date here, but you want to end it here, you probably good. So the last few things to quickly point out about this pack, because again, I'm not diving deep into it, I'm just giving you the rundown of all the new features kind of very quickly, like I said earlier, like a Cliff Notes version, like here's everything you need to know, because I also kind of want to leave it up to you guys if you get the pack to explore the pack and see what it has to offer. But there are a ton of amazing people that have done deep dive videos where they dive even deeper into showing off everything. Like I said, I am going to be live on Twitch later, so I am going to be doing everything there. If you want to see the deep dive of that, I'll be doing that, like I said, on Twitch. I will have it linked down below if you guys want to go check me out. So a quick few things that I want to note that is also new with this pack that I have not explored yet, but I know is in the pack that I want to talk about. There are 2 new deaths in this pack, which is one is you can die of a broken heart, and they are a little hard to get to, but once they're there, you also will get a warning if your Sim is close to being like, hey, if your Sim continues down this path of sadness, your Sim could die of a broken heart. Or if your Sim is sad and they're eating a bunch of the chocolate covered strawberries, which is a new gift that you can give to your Sims, you will get a pop-up that says, hey, you may not want to do this because if you keep going down this path, your Sim could die. So there are 2 new deaths in this game, as well as a few new woohoo spots. So for instance, there is like a new supply closet feature, which I think is more realistic than the big closet that we had from Get Together, but there is like a new supply closet, which fits in with community lots a lot better, where you can try for baby woohoo with your your sim there. You also have like this blanket that you can now roll your sims up in, and they can woohoo in that. So there is that option as well. Also, another really cool feature is your sims can now cuddle in bed. I had to have a mod to help me do that, but now that you can do that, and I think that's really cute. Now, like I said, I did not dive into everything. I wanted to give you guys the basic rundown of here's like the basic things to know that are coming with this new pack. Here are the basic things to know that come with the base game update. And now now that you have the basics, you kind of know what to expect that's coming with this pack. So now that you have all of that information, do with it what you will. I hope that you enjoy the pack when it comes out and if you're getting it. And I hope you have the best time because I'm so excited to explore this pack. This is the pack that I've always dreamed of having in The Sims because of how much I've turned into a sucker for romance. So I'm really excited to dive deep, like I said, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My friends, I hope that you guys enjoyed that video. I had a great time showing you guys some of the basics that came with the pack, and hopefully this will help you be better prepared for when the pack comes out tomorrow, because I know it can be really overwhelming with all this information that you're given, and then it's like you have to figure it out for yourself. But I wanted to give you guys kind of the basic rundown of here's how some of the things work, here's what's coming, here's where you can find more information. I will make sure to also link all the patch notes, all that kind of stuff that you guys might want to get information for. I will have all those links down below for you guys, so you guys have the resources to also just take the time to read things by yourself. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope to get more content out soon. This pack is absolutely incredible so far that I've explored, and hopefully if I play a little bit more with it, I can give you guys a more honest review of the pack once I've had time to explore everything. So look out for that in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone.